Those with swords who choose to keep them sheathed are the truest of leaders. As Seneca said in Book 3 of On Anger, "He who has great power should use it lightly." The leaders that we look down on either have strength and abuse their power on their constituents, or they are weak and bend the knee at the first conflict. As Stoics, our mentality is to endure pain and hardships. But in order to endure, we must be capable human beings. To be truly Stoic leaders, we must find the delicate balance between strength and restraint, knowing when to wield our swords with purpose and when to keep them sheathed for the greater good. In today's lesson, we will discuss how to be dangerous, or in other words, capable, and how to show restraint based on the teachings of the Stoic leader, Seneca. As always, remember to subscribe and tell us about your Stoic journey in the comments below. Now, let's add some steel wisdom to our tool belts. You must be able to protect those in your care. Imagine for a moment, in the middle of the night, someone breaks into your house. You wake up with a start and notice your child in his cradle, your wife beside you, and a stranger at your door. In that chilling moment, the concept of power takes on a whole new meaning. It's not just about physical strength or influence. It's about the ability to protect those in your care, those you are responsible for. If, in the years leading up to this break-in, you found yourself spending your days playing video games and waking up at noon on weekends, you would not be prepared. You would recoil and second-guess yourself as you walk to the door and peer through the cracks. You would be disrespected. You would be seen as a coward. Or the burglar would commit the worst-case scenario when he sees he is more powerful than you. If you, in this moment, are working out, preparing for the worst, getting up early and going for runs outside, fortifying your mind, then perhaps you will be the one who is in charge in this hypothetical. Without a moment's hesitation, you stealthily rise from the bed, your every movement calculated to avoid detection. In the dim glow of the moonlight filtering through the curtains, you close the distance between you and the intruder, heart pounding in your chest. As the invader prowls through the darkened room, you gather your resolve and, with a swift and silent determination, seize the element of surprise. The intruder, overpowering him with a blend of skill and ferocity. The struggle is brief but intense, and as the trespasser is subdued, a wave of relief washes over you. The safety of your loved ones has been secured through your courageous actions, and you stand as the unwavering guardian of your family. You must be self-reliant. Think for a moment about something or someone whom you cannot imagine living without. Think about what they provide in your life and how much you appreciate it. Now, imagine they are not there anymore. As a man, would you be able to fill the void of their responsibility and shoulder it as your own? If the answer is no, that is okay. Now you are aware of what you need to work on at this moment. To be self-reliant, it is to be a rock. It is to be someone who can carry any burden if need be, without any help. Think about the undeniable truth that life is unpredictable, and it has a way of throwing challenges at you when you least expect it. In these moments of trial, you can't afford to rely on others to bail you out. The concept of self-reliance isn't just a philosophical ideal. It's a practical necessity. It's about cultivating your inner strength to weather any storm and face every adversity head-on. Comfort is the enemy of progress, and in your pursuit of self-reliance, you must be willing to step out of that cozy cocoon. Consider the proverb, "Give a man a fish, and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, and you feed him for a lifetime." This timeless wisdom underscores the importance of acquiring skills and knowledge that make you self-sufficient. It's not just about solving immediate problems, but about equipping yourself with the tools to handle any challenge life throws your way. The uncomfortable truth is that relying on others might offer temporary relief, but true empowerment comes from being the master of your fate, capable of fishing for yourself. Now, as you reflect on those aspects of your life you can't imagine living without, use them as motivation to propel yourself towards self-reliance. Break free from dependency, embrace discomfort, and take charge of your destiny. The burden of responsibility is heavy, but a self-reliant individual shoulders it without hesitation, knowing that the strength developed in adversity is the key to a life of resilience and fulfillment. You must show restraint and not have to use your power. The test of a real man goes beyond sheer physical strength. It encompasses the wisdom to discern when to unleash that strength and when to withhold it. A genuine demonstration of power is not in the constant display of dominance, but in the ability to navigate situations with a discerning mind and an understanding of the responsibility that comes with strength. The person who garners admiration and respect is not the one who constantly flexes his muscles, but rather the leader who can show vulnerability while maintaining an unwavering strength beneath the surface. True strength lies in the ability to let one's guard down, fostering an environment where others feel comfortable, yet always keeping a sharp and vigilant edge. This duality is what separates a true leader from a mere authoritarian figure. The individual others look up to is one who commands respect not through fear, but through a balanced display of power and restraint. A leader who understands the judicious use of power is someone to whom others willingly submit, not out of fear, but out of trust and admiration. Such a person is approachable, creating an atmosphere where individuals feel empowered to contribute their best efforts. It's the understanding that the mere possession of power does not automatically command respect. Rather, it's the conscious decision to wield that power judiciously, only when absolutely necessary, that truly defines a person of strength and character. You must realize that this is your responsibility. It is surely the short end of the stick to have to be the one to break a sweat, as opposed to the one who someone is breaking a sweat for. But it is your responsibility. There is no way around it. Those who choose to spend their lives with their nose in their phone and their foot out of the gym pay for it in self-doubt and depression. It is in your biology to only be satisfied once you are prepared. If you have an exam tomorrow and you wake up in a sweat, you are aware that you cost your happiness by being less prepared. Only the studied individuals in that scenario can wake up with a trace of a grin on their face. The same applies to strength. When you are facing that robber at the door, you may have a pang of fear of what may come when you get out of bed to take care of the situation. But if you know how to handle yourself, you can get on your feet. If not, you might find yourself paralyzed by the weight of your own inadequacy. Being a man goes beyond physical strength. It encompasses mental fortitude, resilience, and the ability to face challenges head-on. It's about shouldering the responsibility, not just for yourself, but for those who depend on you. Life may not always seem fair, and the burden may appear heavier than it should be. Yet, it's crucial to recognize that this burden is the essence of your responsibility, and to take it on without complaining. It's the duty you bear as a man to stand tall in the face of adversity. Whether it's shoveling snow at 6 in the morning, checking on strange noises in the night, or putting in the extra hours at work. These are not mere inconveniences, but rather rites of passage that define your character. Being the one who provides requires discipline and sacrifice. While others may indulge in momentary pleasures, you are building a foundation that will withstand the test of time. It's a biological imperative to seek satisfaction through preparation and effort. The satisfaction that comes from knowing you are equipped to handle whatever challenges life throws at you. So, as you face the unknown, whether it's an impending exam or a potential threat at your doorstep, remember that the trace of a grin on your face is earned through preparation. Embrace the responsibility to be the man who doesn't shy away from the hard work, who doesn't let fear paralyze him, but instead uses it as fuel to conquer the challenges that lie ahead. It's your duty, your responsibility, and in fulfilling it, you discover the true measure of your strength and resilience. As always, remember to subscribe and tell us about your stoic journey in the comments below. Seneca once said in Book 3 of On Benefits that it is not that I don't believe in the benefits of generosity, only I don't believe in them when they cost you more than they bring you. There is a danger to being kind to everyone, no matter the occasion. As Seneca said, there must be a benefit to being kind. To be kind of a family member who is kind back is a benefit. To be kind to someone who abuses your generosity is a larger cost to you than the outcome is a reward. It is like making change for $1 with 3 quarters. You lose with each transaction. In today's lesson, we will discuss what you are doing with being overly kind and why, in situations, you must reject the overabundance of your generosities. As always, remember to subscribe and tell us about your stoic journey in the comments below. Now, let's add some steel wisdom to our tool belts. Do not find yourself in competition for attention. When in a relationship, make sure it is an honor for both you and your partner. Never give more of yourself to someone who is not willing to do the same for you. If in this relationship or friendship, they refuse to show the same effort, then you must let it fail. Like Atlas holding the world, he must, because he is the only one who will. Though, you also have your own world to hoist above your head. Do not put yours down, so you can raise someone else's without a good reason. Preserving your self-respect, valuing yourself, and recognizing the right time to move on are crucial to maintaining a healthy life, even if it's a painful process. Keep in mind that if you are not happy and the actions of the other person continually hurt you, even after talking about it without getting changes, the pain will only prolong, and little by little, you will lose your own respect. Your brightness fades away. You are being taken advantage of. One of the downfalls to being overly kind and empathetic is that there are people that will take advantage of you. When you are being overly generous, you are sacrificing yourself. You are giving your energy away, and there are people that will keep taking it. It is akin to a man leaving the lights on, or a woman leaving the water running in the sink. If you believe that assets and resources are unlimited, you might as well keep using them. You will run into many of these people in your life. You will give, but will never receive until you learn when to withdraw your kind nature. When the lights begin to flicker, the man will learn to turn off the lights. When the water stream begins to thin, the woman will learn to turn off the faucet. Take away your resources as soon as you see signs of being taken for granted. If leaving them in the dark doesn't make them miss the light, do not go back. You fear conflict. If you were to say what is really on your mind from time to time, it could cause chaos, a fight to break out, though day after day you reject saying how you really feel in pursuit of keeping the peace. There are valid reasons that you will need to voice your opinion, even if it is unpopular. To make a relationship work, be it romantic, friendship, or family, you must have your own needs met and not be the welcome mat at all times of the day. Meditating on your thoughts are important. But if you are withholding something that needs to be set straight just so you cause no trouble, then no one will ever respect your wishes and boundaries. Because to them, you haven't voiced any boundaries, so you must not have any. You don't say no enough. The idea that saying no is a powerful act of self-preservation, though it runs counter to the societal expectation of constant accommodation. In reality, embracing a level of bluntness becomes crucial when faced with overwhelming demands on your time and energy. Becoming the vessel for others' needs may lead to the erosion of personal boundaries and a loss of autonomy. By learning to say no, individuals can maintain their status as independent beings, rather than becoming unwitting servants to the whims of others. You are over-providing. There are always those who will take you for granted, and from time to time, you might believe service to others is a form of positive connection and engagement. To the person you are serving, however, you are nothing but the fetcher. They want something from the fridge. They call on you. While kindness is undoubtedly a commendable trait, there are instances where individuals may find themselves overextending their generosity to the point of detriment. The art of setting boundaries and recognizing the limits of one's capacity to give is crucial in maintaining personal well-being and preventing burnout. Being blunt is sometimes the only way to maintain your status as an individual, not someone else's servant. This is especially applicable for those in a leadership role. If you are providing yourself as a caretaker for someone, you do not want to do anything for them that they can do themselves. To be overprotective, even when the intention is kind, it is to take away from that person's individuality. In some settings, this could be their individuality as well as your own. You over-apologize. Sorry to say, but constantly apologizing for minor inconveniences or expressing excessive politeness may undermine your own confidence and make others perceive you as lacking assertiveness. Striking a balance between being courteous and asserting your needs is essential for maintaining healthy interpersonal relationships and fostering self-respect. If you find yourself constantly over-apologizing, it's crucial to reassess your communication habits and understand the root cause of this tendency. Over-apologizing can stem from a fear of confrontation, a desire to avoid conflict, or a deep-seated need for approval. By identifying these underlying factors, You can work towards cultivating a more assertive communication style. You lack boundaries. Lacking boundaries can manifest as a pervasive issue in various aspects of life, from personal relationships to professional settings. Without clear boundaries, individuals may find themselves constantly overextending, saying yes to every request, and neglecting their own needs. This lack of discernment can contribute to stress, exhaustion, and a diminished sense of autonomy. By rejecting the pressure to be overly kind and instead establishing firm yet respectful boundaries, individuals can cultivate a healthier balance between generosity and self-preservation, fostering more sustainable connections and a stronger sense of personal agency. Make an assignment from this and explore a conflict where you are forced to put your foot down. The next time to regret putting your head down and complying, meditate on if you should have stood up and put up a boundary or not. Or, as said before, people will assume you have no boundaries to be crossed. You struggle to assert your needs. It is not uncommon for individuals to struggle with asserting their needs, fearing that doing so might be perceived as selfish or inconsiderate. The reality is that everyone is entitled to have needs and desires, and it is crucial to embrace and communicate them effectively. By rejecting the inclination to be excessively kind at the expense of one's own needs, individuals can foster healthier relationships, build stronger boundaries, and ultimately cultivate a greater sense of self-worth. Asserting your needs is an integral part of maintaining personal well-being and ensuring that your voice is heard in various aspects of life. While kindness is a virtue, it should not be a hindrance to expressing your desires and requirements. It's essential to recognize that having needs is a fundamental aspect of being human, and suppressing them can lead to frustration and resentment. Any resentment you have must be resolved, and speaking up for yourself is something your peers do every day. Normalize it for yourself. Be someone to be contended with, not taken advantage of. As always, remember to subscribe and tell us about your stoic journey in the comments below. There is a reason that we were given 2 ears and only a single mouth. The Stoics of the past have taught us well that we need to listen twice as much as we speak, and that of what we choose to utter, we must carefully choose the words which we use. Seneca once said, "Speak only if it improves upon the silence." I will repeat this. Speak only if it improves upon the silence. Being wise turns out is more than knowing what to say. A good amount of being wise is about learning when to stop talking. Today, we'll discuss the 7 times that Stoicism teaches us to keep to ourselves in the pursuit of wisdom and self-development. As always, remember to subscribe and tell us about your Stoic journey in the comments below. Now, let's add some steel wisdom to our tool belts. Number 1. Do not share the silent battles you fight. The caution against openly discussing ongoing challenges in Stoicism is rooted in the philosophy's rejection of ego and pride. When you're sharing what you're going through, you must ask yourself if you are doing it because you have hit a wall and know not how to further progress, or if you are sharing as an excuse or as a way of receiving pity from your fellow man. Stoics warn that revealing these struggles may cloud our vision, leading us to seek external recognition and praise, which can veil our true potential. If we have a battle that we can fight alone, sometimes it's best to meditate and fight the problem alone. Figuring out how to overcome this problem easier next time, rather than oversharing in pursuits driven by the desire for external validation. Stoics advocate for sharing these struggles with individuals who understand and appreciate the value of internal growth. Those who have been down the path you are currently going down, who can get you the best directions. If you must share these battles, do so without adding emotion to the circumstances. Merely give only enough information to communicate the problem. How you are feeling regarding this problem is a battle that you must fight alone. Something you must realize in yourself, not in the responses of others. Number 2, do not be caught complaining. Refraining from complaining is emphasized as a mindful choice that aligns with Stoicism's emphasis on maintaining inner tranquility and focusing on what is within one's control. Complaining often adds little value to life and is counterproductive to cultivating a happy life. By adopting a Stoic approach of choosing not to complain, individuals can enhance their mental well-being, fortify relationships, boost productivity, and nurture gratitude. As you find yourself complaining, it is typically because you have noticed that there is little that you can easily do to change the situation to be a fitting circumstance. However, there are situations where complaining may seem like an enjoyable alternative to confronting challenges directly. Whether it's about a difficult boss or an unlikable co-worker, shared grievances can create a sense of camaraderie among individuals facing similar issues. It is crucial to recognize that these situations are potentially dangerous within the context of Stoicism. While shared complaints may offer temporary relief or foster a sense of connection, they can inadvertently perpetuate a negative mindset and distract from the Stoic principles of resilience and virtue. It's important to approach such situations with mindfulness, seeking constructive ways to address challenges rather than indulging in complaints that may undermine the pursuit of inner tranquility and personal growth. Number 3, don't brag about yourself. The caution against bragging about oneself aligns seamlessly with the Stoic principles of humility and discretion in the pursuit of self-improvement. Epictetus advises that genuine efforts toward becoming better individuals should be accompanied by humility, emphasizing that boasting about personal progress may dilute the sincerity of one's intentions and diminish intrinsic motivation. In the Stoic view, true self-improvement is a deeply personal journey, undertaken for the sake of individual betterment rather than for the sake of seeking applause or recognition from others. Instead of stories elevating yourself above others, let your actions speak as the genuine testament of your growth, silently and idly. Stoicism values the transformation of behavior, character, and mindset as the true indicators of progress. Do not take pride in the value of others realizing your successes. Instead, take pride in your growth and progress. If you truly are progressing, your peers will admire you without you having to utter a single word. Number 4, don't speak ill of yourself. Marcus Aurelius sagely advised, don't be overheard complaining, not even to yourself. This Stoic guidance serves as a safeguard for self-confidence and mental well-being, with the understanding that persistent self-deprecation can undermine motivation and impede personal growth. Rather than succumbing to negative self-talk, Stoicism encourages individuals to uphold their self-worth and potential. In line with Marcus Aurelius' counsel, the Stoic perspective recognizes the inherent vulnerabilities within every person, akin to a hero's Achilles heel. Acknowledging the beautifully imperfect nature of humanity, Stoicism contends that strengths and vulnerabilities coexist within individuals. These vulnerabilities, the delicate and raw facets of our psyche, deserve protection rather than exposure. By adhering to Stoic principles, individuals can cultivate a mindset that shields their vulnerabilities, fostering a positive and constructive inner dialogue that contributes to self-growth and mental resilience. Number 5, don't talk about others. Finding benefits in speaking ill of others can be akin to disturbing the serenity of a calm lake by throwing unwarranted stones. When you find yourself in this action, focus inward. Recognize that judgments and criticisms divert energy from personal growth and virtue. Stoic wisdom encourages individuals to be guardians of their words and thoughts in a world where criticism is prevalent. To use others as a ladder to elevate yourself is being a tyrant. It gives off the appearance of someone trying to get ahead of others by altering perception. By creating reality through dishonest means, individuals compromise the very principles Stoicism seeks to uphold. Stoic teachings caution against such manipulative tactics. Focus instead on internal virtues and self-improvement. Embody honesty and genuine virtue. Align yourself with the Stoic pursuit of a meaningful and virtuous life, wherein the true measure of success is not in how one appears to others, but in the authenticity and integrity with which you navigate existence. Stoicism views forgiveness as an act of profound wisdom. Consider that when you find yourself in the antagonistic positions of cowardly putting someone down. Number 6, don't talk about your future plans. Social platforms have a constant announcement of intentions. Stoicism encourages a measured approach, recognizing the empowering nature of maintaining an element of mystery and unpredictability. Stoics perceived goals and dreams as precious seeds meant for the fertile depths of the soul, shielded from external storms of opinions and criticisms. Self-sufficiency allowed true wisdom and accomplishment to flourish as an internal well from which one could draw strength. Discretion, far from a weakness, is a deliberate choice rooted in Stoic philosophy, protecting against the whimsical winds of external judgment laden with criticism, envy, and malicious intentions. If your dream is to publish a book, but find peace in the congratulations others give you in regards to telling them about your journey, you will find yourself content and less likely to feel the need to publish the book in the first place. You must not allow the goal to be applauded, but to accomplish your goal and learn in your progress. As soon as the satisfaction comes from the external world, you will find it harder to be satisfied internally, as the journey uphill will take a long time. Number 7, don't speak of self-doubt. The Stoic perspective encourages individuals to perform good deeds for the sake of virtuous living, understanding that the true reward lies in the alignment with moral principles and the cultivation of a virtuous character. Disclosing these actions may compromise the sincerity of one's intentions and potentially lead to a subtle form of self-aggrandizement, which runs counter to the Stoic principles of humility and genuine virtue. Stoicism teaches that true virtue is its own reward, emphasizing the internal satisfaction derived from acting in accordance with ethical principles. The Stoics saw the pursuit of goodness as an inherent part of the human journey and advised against seeking external validation for acts of kindness. Let another praise you and not your own mouth, a stranger and not your own lips. Wise words from Epictetus to end our video with. As always, remember to subscribe and tell us about your stoic journey in the comments below. Once there was a man. He went to many social gatherings, but he wasn't known as the popular one among any group. He liked to ask questions, but not to appear virtuous, instead to learn from those more accomplished than he was. While the arrogant brother used his wit to impress, the humble seeker of wisdom listened intently, seeking knowledge like a thirsty traveler in a desert. As time unfolded, the man accomplished through the teachings of those around him, the publishing of his book, that quickly became referenced in many lectures. The brother who dismissed him, though still popular, became known only as the brother to the author. In today's lesson, we will discuss how you may begin your journey to reforming your mind, to seek, recall, and apply knowledge in life, to outsmart and outwit those around you. As always, remember to subscribe and tell us about your stoic journey in the comments below. Now, let's add some steel wisdom to our tool belt. Look at both sides of a coin. This may be a truth that is repellent to hear. In times, we flock to those that are saying the things we already believe to be true. It is human to want to be self-assured that what we know is correct, and not to like challenging our beliefs. There are two sides to every coin. Instead of, say, watching videos online that reaffirm what we think, watch videos that challenge our beliefs. It could very well turn out that what we believe is the truth, though to dismiss the other side of the argument as wrong without knowing why they think what they say is arrogant. Perhaps, and I believe this to be correct, there are many truths on each side of the argument. Being receptive to hearing other points will help you determine what is right and what is wrong, regardless of who is saying it. To be unbiased in life is to be on the side of truth, not the side of an ideology, class, party, or faction. What is within the overlapping circles of the Venn diagram? Create a compendium of life lessons. To be wise is to take every serious lesson and commit it to memory. The reason human beings have instincts is because our ancestors had to adapt in order to survive. Our instincts are legacies of those choices. In my personal life, I have a document that I was forced to commit to memory in order to overcome the trials of life. The belief is that if these lessons helped me once, there is some truth behind the methods, and I will need to use them again down the road, whether you know it or not. You have an ever-changing list in your mind. Put them on paper so they are there when you need them. Fellow seekers of wisdom should make an effort to share life rules and exchange them like trading cards. By the end of life, you should have countless cards and be happy to pass them down to the next generation. Technology and civilization may change, but there are universal truths. It is our job as Stoics to seek these rules and teach them to as many people as possible. Be a lifelong learner. When personal computers first became available to office spaces, you would have found the majority of people who rejected the technology and stuck to notepads and typewriters. Years later, they were behind their co-workers and weren't as capable for the job. They witnessed setbacks such as not obtaining promotions and, in cases, not getting a new job in the first place. Others not only welcomed the technology, but became scholars in computer science and are now the wealthiest men in the world. You will want to always be a lifelong learner. and not miss opportunities. You always have to have your mind open. The world is evolving at an unprecedented pace. And if you're not constantly adapting and expanding your knowledge base, you're setting yourself up for irrelevance. So, quit making excuses, stop coasting through life, and embrace the discomfort of intellectual challenge. Be curious and ask questions. In a lifetime, you cannot expect yourself to be a master of everything. If you could choose your focus and find wisdom about it, you will be the person that people go to when they want to learn more. To be a lifelong learner is to always be curious, even when it is outside of your mastery. If you are taking a taxi ride and you discover your driver is a scholar of flora, in that 10-minute cab ride, you should find yourself curious about what you could learn, how his teachings may benefit your life. Those who are excitable and curious about different disciplines than their own are the ones who do not have to work to be wise. They simply find teachings in their fellow man and apply them to their life. Seek silence. Why don't you read a book while listening to music? It is because even though your brain is processing the words, your mind is over-encumbered with information, and the meaning of the paragraph dissolves, forcing you to either read it again or lose the context. Stoics then seek silence, especially after learning a lesson. Taking a walk, sitting down without distractions. Let your mind process the information. If you finish a meeting or listen to a lecture, one of the best practices you could do for yourself is get fresh air. Make sure that you do not have earphones in, or that no one is talking to you. Focus entirely on what you just learned and ponder on it. Ask yourself questions about the information. Make connections between what you already knew and what you need to do to move forward. Going back to work, you will lose it. Seek silence. Start your day in the right mindset. Your peers may be getting out of bed, eating breakfast, and heading out to work. You could start by getting out of bed with a stoic morning routine. Prepare your mind. Prepare yourself. Start your day by talking out loud, especially if you are the only one in the household. You need to watch yourself in the mirror, saying what your intentions are for the day and what you need to do today to be accomplished. Saying something out loud processes the information more than thinking it. Think about it like packing your backpack. What are you going to need to bring to work or school today? Maybe the knowledge of something you know you will be tested on. Perhaps a joke to plan for your friends. Starting your day off right is incredibly important to be mentally prepared and ready to obtain wisdom. Consider watching our lesson on stoic morning routines. It would be worthwhile in your endeavors. Embrace discomfort. It may seem counterintuitive at first, as humans are naturally inclined to seek comfort and avoid situations that make us uneasy. However, those who aspire to outsmart everyone around them understand that stepping outside one's comfort zone is the catalyst for innovation, resilience, and unparalleled achievements. Embracing discomfort is not about subjecting oneself to unnecessary pain, but rather about cultivating a mindset that welcomes challenges and sees them as opportunities for growth. Whether it's taking on new responsibilities at work, engaging in unfamiliar social situations, or learning a new skill, the willingness to embrace discomfort can be the differentiating factor in achieving extraordinary success. Follow through with goals. As said before, people gather wisdom mostly from doing. You can learn from others, but you must put lessons into action. Setting objectives is just the initial step. It is the consistent commitment to seeing them through that distinguishes the truly savvy individuals. One key strategy is to break down large goals into smaller, more manageable tasks. This not only makes the objectives seem less overwhelming, but also allows for a step-by-step approach, fostering a sense of accomplishment with each completed task. Moreover, maintaining a clear and realistic timeline enhances the likelihood of adherence to the plan. Consistency is the linchpin, as establishing daily routines and habits that align with the end goal ensures a steady progression. By understanding that the journey to outsmarting others is paved with persistent and disciplined follow-through, individuals can transform aspirations into tangible achievements. Obtain many mentors. The first step is to be intentional about networking, actively seeking out connections and engaging in meaningful conversations. Attend industry events, join professional associations, and leverage online platforms to connect with like-minded individuals. Networking is not solely about quantity, but quality, fostering genuine relationships that go beyond superficial interactions. A well-nurtured network can serve as a source of mentorship, collaboration, and support, offering a competitive edge in navigating the complexities of today's competitive landscape. Know when to speak and when to listen. To outsmart everyone in various aspects of life, recognizing the opportune moments to articulate your thoughts and when to lend an ear becomes a strategic advantage. The art of effective communication rests not only in the words spoken, but also in the attentive silence that fosters understanding. Knowing when to speak allows you to assert your ideas with precision and impact, while mastering the art of listening empowers you to absorb valuable insights and build meaningful connections. It's the discernment between being a compelling orator and an astute observer that sets individuals apart in a world driven by information and interpersonal dynamics. There are times when you do all that is possible to extend yourself to meet others halfway. And you realize when something may be the fault of your own, a chance to develop yourself and learn why you are treated differently from those who treat everyone else with kindness and understanding. Most of the time, when you have these feelings, to look inward and realize what you are doing wrong is the correct answer. Though outside of the Stoic community, there are those that gain status by putting you down. They become popular among those around you because they weaponize your good nature. To not walk away is to fan the fire taking a hold of your crops. If you continue to let it burn, it will reach your cattle and soon your household. Seneca once said, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you. Welcome those whom you are capable of improving." The process is a mutual one. Men learn as they teach. Stoicism is about focusing on what you can control, and one can only justify this behavior so long before realizing some are not worth it. And you are worth more. In today's lesson, we will discuss the times you must walk away from those around you, no matter how close they are to you, in order to maintain your control over your own life. As always, remember to subscribe and tell us about your Stoic journey in the comments below. Now, let's add some steel wisdom to our tool belts. Reason 1. They are envious and jealous of your achievements. There was once a man who met and began to form a relationship with a beautiful girl. His friends, however, when they met her for the first time, began to bring up embarrassing stories that happened years before. The man, now on the defensive, began to perform damage control in order to keep from embarrassment. In your happiest moments, if you cannot rely on your friends to show humanity towards you, they are not friends, but enemies wearing friendly masks. These individuals are not interested in supporting you. Instead, their envy blinds them to the point where they derive pleasure from diminishing your accomplishments. Holding on to such toxic relationships will only hinder your growth and perpetuate a cycle of negativity. Cut ties with these joy-sucking parasites and watch how your life transforms when you surround yourself with those who genuinely celebrate your achievements. Reason 2. They manipulate and play mind games. Imagine you are deeply in love with a girl, oblivious to the subtle mind games she played. You would have plenty of good times. However, she would frequently employ silent treatments on the smallest of bumps in the road, leaving you guessing about what went wrong and how you could improve. Later, she would act as if nothing happened. She would initiate fights, only to act confused and innocent when you argue back. You would begin to wonder what you were doing wrong, and find yourself changing into someone unrecognizable, trying to be perfect with an ever-changing standard. These individuals have perfected the art of playing with your emotions, leaving you in a perpetual state of confusion and self-doubt. Their deceptive tactics are not a sign of affection, but rather a clear indication of their insidious nature. Staying in such relationships only perpetuates a cycle of emotional turmoil, eroding your self-esteem and mental well-being. Don't delude yourself into thinking that you can change them or that they'll miraculously become better partners. Break up with these people decisively and walk away. Reason 3. They are disrespecting you and don't give you a chance to prove yourself. Some people not only undermine your self-esteem, but also hinder your personal and professional growth. You don't owe anyone your presence, especially those who fail to recognize what you can add. If you have one downfall or misstep, and they never let you forget about it, it's time to walk away. You must give yourself room to make mistakes. If you never try, you never make mistakes. If you never make mistakes, you never gain experience. If those who you choose to surround yourself with are wants to put you down for making mistakes, it can be a learning opportunity to grow thicker skin and put up with the hecklies and jokes. Though, if you can't learn because of this, leave them. Cut ties with those who refuse to give you the chance to showcase your abilities and surround yourself with individuals who appreciate your talents and respect your worth. By allowing such negativity to persist, you are willingly subjecting yourself to an environment that stifles your potential and limits your possibilities. Think of the goal you are working towards in the next 5 years. In order to reach that goal, there is work to be done. Are they standing in your way of what your mission is? Remember, it's not about burning bridges. It's about prioritizing your future and aligning yourself with individuals who uplift and appreciate you. Reason 4. They are using you as a stepping stone. There once was a man who wanted the hand of the most beautiful girl in the village. Instead of showing how high of potential he had to win her attention, he displayed how low of potential you had. If you're still lingering around individuals who view you merely as a stepping stone, it's time to wake up. These people are not your friends. They are opportunists looking to climb the ladder at your expense. It's baffling how some individuals can be so blinded by their own ambition that they willingly use others as mere rungs to reach their goals. You're not a pawn in their game. You're a person deserving of genuine connections and mutual respect. Walking away from these leeches is not just an option, it's a necessity for your well-being. A profound thought is that in Stoicism, it is thought that if you rely on something or someone for you to perform a task, you are not technically capable of that task. If the power went out tomorrow, are you truly capable of being a mechanic since you have no online forums to reference? If someone is using you to put you down as a way of gaining social status, think about if you decided to give them space and not be around them anymore. They would either be forced to find someone else to stand upon, or they would lose their status entirely. Walk away, my friend. Reason 5, they show no empathy or concern for your well-being. These people, whether they be so-called friends, family members, or colleagues, have repeatedly demonstrated their utter disregard for your feelings, needs, and overall welfare. In those you choose to surround yourself with, you find no one that you would openly talk to if you needed to be mentored in an area of life that you have hit a wall in. Though, how come these same individuals you volunteer your time? Would you feel happy if they opened up to you? Continuing to invest your time, energy, and emotions in relationships with individuals who exhibit such a blatant disregard for your well-being is not only self-destructive, but also a testament to your own tolerance for mistreatment. Remember, your well-being is non-negotiable, and those who show no empathy or concern for it have no place in your life. Cut the cord and liberate yourself from the shackles of toxic relationships. Your happiness depends on it. Reason 6, they are impeding your success. Imagine you're striving to launch your own business, pouring your heart and soul into the venture. You've got a clear vision, a solid plan, an unwavering determination. However, within your inner circle, there's a so-called friend who constantly belittles your ideas, scoffs at your ambitions, and never misses an opportunity to remind you of the high failure rate of startups. This individual's negativity becomes a persistent presence, eroding your confidence and sowing seeds of doubt in your abilities. Despite your best efforts to stay focused, their toxic influence seeps into your mindset, hindering your creativity and sapping your enthusiasm. These impediments may take various forms: constant negativity, jealousy, or an outright lack of support. Whatever the manifestation, the outcome is the same: a roadblock on your journey to success. No matter how difficult it may be to sever ties, it is crucial to prioritize your own growth and success over toxic relationships that drain your energy and stunt your progress. Reason 7. They constantly criticize and belittle you while you're away. You know of these relationships where you are the stepping stone or the butt of the joke, but perhaps you developed confidence in your social abilities to deflect these jokes and remarks. While doing this, you gain the appearance of someone literate and not to be messed with. It is liberating, and people who see it think highly of you and your wit. That is why you do not see the problem in these individuals. Though think of when you are not present and your name is mentioned, and the malicious campaign of criticism and belittlement happens behind your back. It's not just a harmless exchange of opinions. It's a deliberate attempt to erode your self-esteem and tarnish your reputation when you're not there to defend yourself. The passive-aggressive nature of their actions can have insidious consequences, seeping into your personal and professional life. You must, in these times, separate yourself entirely from these people, even just to show that such intentions are not welcome. The idea of putting someone down has a purpose to it. People do not do this for fun. It is one thing to disrespect someone to their face. In that circumstance, you can choose then that you need to reevaluate your relationship with this person. While you are away and this happens, it can be akin to a virus spreading, if it is not treated, in this case with distance. The fictional perception of you could be altered for life while their reputation is weaved by their own thread. Walk away as soon as possible from this evil. You have limited warnings. As always, remember to subscribe and tell us about your stoic journey in the comments below. Are you projecting confidence? Or does your reflection reveal a person who lacks the basic qualities that garner genuine respect from others? Remember, it's not the world's responsibility to accommodate your shortcomings. It's your duty to evolve into the person you should be. If you're constantly being treated poorly by others, it's likely because you lack the experience necessary to navigate social dynamics effectively. Instead of bemoaning the unfairness of it all, use the harsh feedback as a wake-up call. In today's lesson, we will go over the reasons why others may be showing you signs of disrespect, but not doing so to others they interact with. We will also go over how to overcome these barriers so we can acknowledge our deficiencies and overcome them. Whether it's in the professional setting or personal relationships. As always, remember to subscribe and tell us about your stoic journey in the comments below. Now, let's add some steel wisdom to our tool belts. You haven't proved yourself. Respect is earned through actions and achievements. You can't fake something for too long before you give yourself away. Nor should you pretend to have qualifications that you provably do not have. Nobody cares about how you perceive your potential if they haven't witnessed anything substantial from you. It's time to stop expecting handouts and start demonstrating your worth. If you want your co-workers and peers to think that you are business savvy, start a business. If you want girls to think that you are into fitness, dedicate yourself and dive headfirst into fitness. People aren't stupid. They can see through a facade. And when they see that you are demonstrating a lie to them, they will immediately lose trust and respect for you. Any free time that you have for relaxation, dedicate it instead towards that of what you wish others to see in you. Do not just say that you are, you must be. You are unpredictable in temperament. It's as if the warmth and openness were nothing more than a fleeting performance. And now the curtains have closed on that engaging act. This drastic change in behavior not only confuses those around you, but also makes it challenging for them to connect with the real you. The initial sparkle fades, replaced by an air of reservation that puts up barriers between you and others. If you want to maintain those positive connections you establish at first meetings, it's crucial to address the reasons behind this abrupt shift and find a way to bridge the gap between your charismatic introduction and the guarded version of yourself that emerges soon after. You have not sacrificed anything. Others who have built connections are indispensable to those around them. If a day passed without that person around, others would notice. They put their money where their mouth is. They provide themselves as a vessel for maintaining a sense of community and safety. To earn respect from those who fail to recognize your worth, one must first recognize their own value. Respect is not freely given. It must be earned through consistent actions. Consider what you're willing to give to create lasting connections that withstand the test of time. After all, in the grand scheme of life, those who invest reap the rewards, while those who merely exist wonder why they're overlooked. You haven't sacrificed time, energy, or resources to build meaningful connections or prove your worth. Instead of whining about being mistreated, roll up your sleeves and start putting in the work. Whether it's investing time in personal development, showing genuine care for others, or going the extra mile in your endeavors, make sacrifices that matter. Until you're willing to contribute something of value to the world, don't expect anyone to treat you like royalty. It's time to stop blaming external factors and start taking responsibility for your own lack of sacrifice. You struggle to communicate effectively. If you find yourself constantly on the receiving end of poor treatment from others, perhaps it's time to take a hard look in the mirror and acknowledge a harsh truth. You are not communicating effectively to others. Watch how your peers interact with each other and take into account your own shortcomings. Are you not speaking in a way that others can find common ground? Are you speaking with no evidence or life experience to back up your claims? If you consistently fail to articulate your thoughts, feelings, and intentions, don't be surprised when others respond with disdain or indifference. It's not their responsibility to decipher your muddled expressions or navigate through the fog of your incoherent messages. People don't have the time or patience to unravel the mess of miscommunication you create. So, stop blaming everyone else for treating you poorly and start addressing the fundamental issue, your own inadequate communication skills. You lack confidence in your abilities. When you constantly doubt your capabilities, you broadcast a message of insecurity that others can't help but pick up on. Your lack of self-assurance becomes a magnet for disrespect and mistreatment. People are drawn to confidence. If you cannot summon the belief in your own skills and worth, don't be surprised when others follow suit and treat you with the disdain that your self-doubt projects. Whatever you are not confident in doing, do it once and learn from the action. Thinking and planning on doing something like going on a date, conducting a meeting, taking an exam, or having a job interview only goes so far. It is the action in performing that task that will give you confidence. Don't expect others to doubt you until you can prove them wrong. You fail to build meaningful connections. Your inability to establish genuine relationships might be the root cause of the disdain you're receiving. People don't appreciate shallow interactions or self-centered behavior, and they can sniff out insincerity from a mile away. It's time to acknowledge that the problem lies within you, and your lack of empathy, their genuine interest, and emotional intelligence is driving people away. So, don't be surprised when others treat you with indifference or outright disrespect. You're reaping what you've sown with your inability to foster meaningful connections. People value having common ground between one another. It can be as easy as watching the same television show, or both owning a dog. You cannot expect yourself to get along with everyone if you do not share at least something with them. Those that you admire are successful because they can relate to anyone. That person is a jack of all trades. They contain this steel wisdom, and people like them for exactly that reason. Find out what others like and do. and see about expanding your interests. You will be surprised with how many people you can then relate to. You overpromise and underdeliver. A man's worth is no greater than his ambitions. Marcus Aurelius, your penchant for making grand commitments without the capacity to fulfill them has left a trail of disappointment in your wake. It's time to face the consequences of your actions and acknowledge that your unrestrained assurances are nothing more than empty words. People are not blind to your shortcomings, and they've grown weary of your lack of accountability. It's high time you break free from this destructive cycle and start aligning your promises with achievable actions. If you ever hope to earn the respect you so desperately crave. No one wants to be associated with someone who cannot be relied upon. Your habit of overpromising and underdelivering not only damages your personal relationships, but also undermines your professional credibility. Colleagues and friends are not obligated to endure your repeated letdowns, whether it is you cancelling plans or your boss witnessing your less than satisfactory skill when you are hired for the job you weren't as capable for as you claimed. It's time to recognize that trust is earned through consistent and reliable behavior, not empty words and unfulfilled commitments. You don't take initiative or show proactivity. And life doesn't hand out rewards to those who passively watch it unfold. Get up, start taking initiative, and show some proactivity if you want others to treat you with the respect you think you deserve. Being someone who does as they are told only gets you so far and begins to make you feel as if you are a doormat. You want to be the person that others assume knows their place and champions their responsibilities. You want to be the person that others go to because you express yourself as the one who is where they need to be and knows what they need to know. Muster some courage and take charge of your destiny. If you're tired of being treated like an afterthought, then start acting like a person of consequence. It's time to stop making excuses, seize control of your circumstances, and demand the respect that only comes to those who are willing to go out and earn it. You fail to adapt to social norms and etiquette. You fail to adapt to social norms and etiquette. Ignoring societal expectations and refusing to adhere to basic etiquette is a surefire way to alienate those around you. Sure, it shows that you are unique in the way you carry yourself, but expecting everyone to tolerate your lack of social grace is not only unrealistic, but also incredibly self-centered. If you consistently find yourself at the receiving end of poor treatment, it's not a conspiracy. It's a consequence of your inability to adapt. Social skills are not optional. They are a prerequisite for a functioning and harmonious society. So, instead of wallowing in self-pity, take responsibility for your behavior. Instead of waiting for others to extend their olive branch, which will never happen, go to them with confidence. You struggle to accept criticism or feedback. The most liberating feeling is to become a man who can recognize when he is wrong, drop the pride, and adapt his habits. When someone corrects your spelling, you do not continue to spell something the same way as you always have. You say you were wrong and thank them. If someone corrects you in a debate that you thought you were correct in and changes your mind, you express surprise and bandage the hole in your reasoning. Immediately, the more you learn, the more whole of a man you become. If you reject corrections based on the person who helps you, you are being too prideful, and you need to reject that feeling, for it is a sin. If you constantly struggle to accept criticism, you're not only limiting your own potential, but also alienating those around you. People are more likely to distance themselves from someone who is unwilling to grow and adapt. So, if you're tired of being treated poorly, start by developing a thicker skin. Constructive criticism is not an attack on your character, but an opportunity for improvement. Why would you assume that you have the ability to change the small things in life when you can't even command yourself to start your day correctly? Marcus Aurelius advised us, at dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work as a human being. What do I have to complain of if I'm going to do what I was born for, the things I was brought into the world to do? Or is this what I was created for, to huddle under the blankets and stay warm? To start your day wrong is to lay a foundation for the remainder of your day. When you wake up improperly, you will indeed set the tone for a series of small defeats. Today, we will discuss how to get you up correctly and start it in a way that you can have control and command over your actions, for no man will follow a leader who cannot even lead himself. As always, remember to subscribe and tell us about your stoic journey in the comments below. Now, let's add some steel wisdom to our tool belts. Number 1, prepare tonight for your morning tomorrow. The philosophy of Stoicism always comes back to the ideal that you only focus on in life what you can control. You want to have a good morning tomorrow. However, you already are aware of the patterns in which you repeat as you turn off your alarm clock in the morning and wait until the last minute. Sometimes you can't even say you are in control at these moments. That is a lie, but nevertheless, it is difficult to overcome in your tired, weak state. Instead of relying on your future self entirely, prepare tonight for the best results tomorrow. Have your coffee ready for you. Have your clothing already prepared. Place your keys, wallet, and any essentials you might need in the morning by the door. In doing so, you reclaim control over the elements that typically induce morning chaos. Stoicism, in this context, becomes a practical tool for navigating the inevitable unpredictable of the early hours. As you lay the groundwork the night before, you're acknowledging that while you can't control every aspect of the day, you can certainly influence its trajectory. Number 2, avoid distractions. If you break the word distraction down to 2 parts, you get dis, meaning apart, and traction, a Latin word meaning pulling. Distraction is to pull apart from your attention or to divert focus. Think to yourself for a moment. What typically causes you to divert your focus and stay in bed in the morning? At this time, you have all of your important resources ready to go, your clothing laid out, the coffee is on. What is keeping you in bed? Perhaps your phone at the ready is an easy device for you to pick up and scroll through videos to wake your brain up. If you are going to be looking through videos or social media, do that after you're standing up. If you truly want to eliminate distractions, you're going to need to get a real alarm clock. They are cheap, and there is nothing stopping you from buying or ordering one. Keep your phone at the other side of the room. Turn the internet off. If it makes you feel any better, you can keep your call tone on in case there is an emergency. The phone, often a double-edged sword, can be both a source of motivation and a tempting distraction. Get it away from your bed and get to sleep on time. If you need to, use it as a device to get you to stand up in the morning. Work with yourself. There are ways to avoid distractions and use what would have been a distraction as an incentive. Number 3, develop willpower. Marcus Aurelius says, concentrate every minute like a Roman, like a man, on doing what's in front of you with precise and genuine seriousness, tenderly, willingly, with justice, and on freeing yourself from all other distractions. The hardest part is getting out of your bed, now that you're out of bed, and maintaining these habits of doing so. Focus on the act of taking control. The phenomenon, when you realize that you are the master of your vessel, and anything over-encumbering you at this moment, you can take inventory of and shape your actions. Count to 5, and at the end, you stand up. If you do this every time, it gets easier. Practice this act of listening to your authority. When you count to 5, you are going to blink. When you count to 5, you are going to stretch. When you count to 5, you are going to clear your throat. Have willpower. Have power over your will. Number 4, get something done. The key is not the scale of the task, but the act of accomplishing something tangible. A stoic morning routine encourages you to seize the early hours and infuse them with purpose. By completing a task, no matter how small, you cultivate a sense of control and achievement that ripples through the rest of your day. Number 5, reiterate what today's purpose will be. What is the reason for today? If today was a book, what would be written on the back as a synopsis? Knowing why you are awake and the purpose behind your daily endeavors is a fundamental aspect of a stoic morning routine. Take a moment to reiterate and clarify your intentions for the day, almost like setting a compass for your journey. This can be a quiet reflection on your overarching values and long-term goals. What virtues do you embody? What principles will guide your decisions and actions? Embracing the Stoic philosophy, you understand that each day is a chapter in the larger narrative of your life. And by reaffirming your purpose, you are actively participating in its creation. Number 6, be consistent. This will come in time as you learn what works in your Stoic morning routine. There are important musts like getting out of bed at the exact same time and having everything ready from the day before. But until you get home from your day at your job or class, you can reflect on how your investment in your time helped your Stoic mindset and contributed to a sense of consistency. Consistency is the backbone of a Stoic morning routine, a steady rhythm that weaves through the fabric of your day. While the external circumstances may vary, the internal commitment to your routine remains unwavering. The consistency extends beyond the tangible actions to the mindset you cultivate. Number 7, participate in morning stretching and exercise. At any point before you leave your house, ideally early on, if you choose to spend some time with entertainment, also use this time to stretch. You can do this in the bathroom, as you are getting dressed, as you are standing up, or whenever. Though you will need to dedicate a minimum of 5 to 15 minutes to this practice, the benefits are profound. Stretching not only invigorates your body, but also aligns with the Stoic philosophy by promoting mindfulness and presence in the moment. As you engage in deliberate stretches, focus on each movement and the sensations coursing through your body. This becomes a form of meditation in motion, grounding you in the present and fostering a connection between mind and body. The intentional act of stretching also serves as a physical reminder of your commitment to self-care and well-being, reinforcing the idea that taking care of yourself is a crucial aspect of navigating the challenges of the day. Number 8, ask yourself, what might a successful day look like today? Before venturing out into the day, take a moment for introspection and ponder a fundamental question. What might constitute a successful day today? This inquiry acts as a guiding light, shaping your choices and actions in harmony with your aspirations. Within the framework of Stoic philosophy, success transcends mere external achievements, finding its essence in the internal alignment with your core values and principles. As you envision success, acknowledge that it's not always about grand objectives. Some days may be characterized by smaller, incremental goals that accumulate over time. Number 9, leave early. This is a very important item in your routine. You have control over when you leave, whether that be early or directly at the pace that will allow you to arrive at your destination precisely on time. What you cannot control, however, is driving conditions like weather and traffic. If you leave at a pace where you will get there on time, you will find yourself frustrated at any inconveniences impeding your route, and even making an attempt to make up for lost time. If you leave early, any setbacks are essentially accepted. You couldn't care less because at your pace, you've allowed for the unexpected. This crucial element in your routine embodies the Stoic principle of distinguishing between what lies within and beyond your control. This leads us to our final point. Number 10. As you leave, you must set the tone for your day. Now that you woke up at a decent time, had time to prepare your body and mind, and are leaving early, there is one last step to your morning routine. Attempt to leave the house with the energy that you wish to set as an example for the rest of your day. At this point, you are not in a rush. You are all prepared. As you open the door and let yourself assume how you feel in this moment will be the feeling until you come home. Try to get an upbeat song stuck in your head, or listen to someone who expresses a good amount of energy. Having something like a song in your head can be akin to the code language that a computer program operates on. It is the basis for your daily operating system. As you step into the world, consider the morning as a foundation, a stoic groundwork that you've meticulously laid. The upbeat rhythm in your mind or the energetic words you've absorbed become the programming language guiding your interactions, decisions, and responses throughout the day. As you embrace the world beyond your doorstep, carry the assurance that you've laid the groundwork for a day lived with intention and resilience. Have you ever found yourself in a scenario where it seems like you're not high on the priority list for others? You feel lonely, frustrated, unimportant. Perhaps you've had those moments when you've gone above and beyond, aced a task, or contributed significantly, only to find yourself in the shadows without due credit. It's a tough pill to swallow. Despite your best efforts, there are instances where people may not acknowledge your true value, whether by oversight or a deliberate choice to turn a blind eye. Continuously striving to please those who overlook your worth can leave you feeling disheartened. Drawing inspiration from Stoic philosophy, the idea is not to bank on external recognition since it's beyond our control and isn't guaranteed to materialize. As Marcus Aurelius wisely observed, very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. This ancient wisdom resonates profoundly in the context of the contemporary social landscape, urging us to look inward for the strength and resilience needed to stand out. Waiting for acknowledgement can lead to frustration. However, what if I told you there are strategies to keep in mind to position yourself as a priority and garner the recognition you deserve. There are actionable steps that can elevate your standing in someone's life. By adhering to these guidelines, you can position yourself better in different areas in your life. By keeping these in mind, you can be perceived in a way that improves your standing, while adhering to Stoic principles of consistent self-development. As always, remember to subscribe and tell us about your Stoic journey in the comments below. Now, let's add some steel wisdom to our tool belts. Number 1, stop feeling sorry for yourself. This first point is something important that we vow to keep reminding in upcoming videos. It is something that you can start right now, without having to make any physical lifestyle changes. You must stop feeling sorry for yourself. As an affirmation, yes, things do go wrong. And surely situations are unfairly happening to you at this very moment. People that you care about aren't returning the same care for you. The same hill that you are trying to get up is steeper for you than it is for the people on the very same terrain. Despite all of this, you must maintain a clear vision. You must only concern yourself with what you can do about your misfortunes. Imagine how it looks to others. Who would want to walk up to someone who is closed off, sad, or angry? Even the saying, "Fake it until you make it," resonates in this fundamental wisdom. If you are defeated, put on a confident, determined look. People will then treat you as confident and determined. Carry yourself high. Reevaluate what is important. If you are finding too much importance in those that are making you feel bad, perhaps that is not ever going to change, and you will forever be in this loop of self-pity. If you can find a way to remind yourself to fix your posture, put on a confident expression, and refocus your attention every time you begin to feel sorry for yourself, you will find people treating you more as a colleague than as a burden. Number 2, engage in more social circles. In light of the recognition that one may feel overlooked in their current social circles, a Stoic-inspired approach to addressing this situation involves a focus on self-improvement and expanding social circles without succumbing to feelings of self-pity or emotional distancing. The Stoic philosophy aligns with the idea that investing energy into relationships should be reciprocal, and if there's a sense of imbalance, a proactive and constructive response is warranted. Rather than emotionally distancing oneself and hoping others will seek attention, the Stoic solution involves channeling that energy into what you can control, like stepping back from your circle and broadening the amount of social circles that you have. This emphasizes personal development and finding contentment within oneself, expanding social circles through activities like finding a new job. And if you have a job, considering a casual job, volunteering, finding others that participate in the same hobbies as you. This not only provides new opportunities for connection, but also allows you to distance yourself from those who take you for granted. And perhaps finding others that see your worth. Number 3, take your hobbies into your community. The concept of replacing indoor activities with outdoor pursuits for self-development resonates strongly with Stoic principles, particularly in its focus on personal growth. When you take something that you would be doing regardless, but taking it outside of the comforts of your own home, you will find yourself engaging with the world, meeting new people, and developing an unpredictability to your routine. Say, if you read or study, you take your activities and relocate to spaces like the library or a local cafe. By choosing venues outside the house, individuals not only expand their knowledge but also increase the likelihood of social interactions and the creation of lasting memories. Stoicism encourages an active and engaged approach to life, and choosing activities that take place beyond the confines of one's home contributes to a richer and more dynamic existence. The idea that a less predictable routine makes one more interesting and appealing to others is a fact. You are proving that you have more going on, even if you are still doing what you would have been doing inside. Consider even taking up new hobbies like swimming or going to the gym, exploring trails, volunteering at your church. By venturing outside, meeting new people, and continuously developing oneself, you will have more to add to the conversation. You will also be taking back your energy concerning yourself with others that take you for granted and reinvest it in yourself. Number 4, be more mysterious. In the realm of social dynamics, the allure of mystery can be a game changer. It's not about being distant or unfriendly. Rather, it's about leaving room for discovery, creating an intriguing aura that compels others to want to know more about you. When it comes to interests and hobbies, resist the urge to broadcast them like a neon sign. Let them be discovered naturally, sparking curiosity in those around you. Similarly, avoid divulging every detail of your plans and whereabouts. The magic of mystery lies in not making your life an open book. Leave blank pages for others to fill with their imagination. Why does mystery work? Because curiosity is a powerful motivator. Humans are drawn to the unknown, and the process of discovery is inherently exciting. If you're an open book, there's nothing left to uncover. But if you're a captivating puzzle with pieces waiting to be revealed, you become infinitely more interesting. Imagine your weekend involved you getting to cross out an item from your bucket list. A genuinely interesting event happening in your chronicon. Would you tell everyone about this as soon as it happened? Or would you let it come up as something to add to a conversation down the road, having others think, wow, I wonder what else this person has accomplished? A good thing to keep in mind is that any idea that comes up in conversation can be uttered by any individual, though it is those with supporting anecdotes that are looked up to as wise. Each situation that happens to you, be it good or bad, is an anecdote waiting to be told. Everything interesting that has happened to you so far in life is timber for the campfire. It's a tool for your tool belt of steel wisdom. Remember, being mysterious is about balancing openness with restraint, sharing aspects of yourself selectively. In a world saturated with information, those who can maintain an air of mystery stand out. So, become the riddle that captivates those around you, and let the world lean in to unravel the mystery that is uniquely and authentically yours. Number 5, avoid being constantly available. This multifaceted approach not only prevents an individual from being consistently available to every request, but also provides a sense of empowerment and autonomy. If there's a sense of being taken for granted in one's social circle, having alternative avenues allows for a redirection of time and effort toward more fulfilling endeavors. This aligns with Stoicism's emphasis on personal growth and the pursuit of meaningful goals that contribute to individual well-being. Stoicism encourages individuals to focus on what is within their control, and managing one's availability is an aspect of personal choice. By being intentional about availability, individuals can foster an air of mystery and uniqueness, prompting others to appreciate and value the time spent together. The Stoic philosophy encourages individuals to find contentment and value within themselves, irrespective of external circumstances. By participating in alternative activities that genuinely benefit personal growth and happiness, one can detach from concerns about how others may treat them and focus on something more controllable. Number 6, prioritize what is best for you. In the pursuit of being noticed, don't lose sight of yourself. Those who command attention prioritize their well-being and happiness over the quest for external validation. Envy leads us to fixate on others, but the person you envy isn't spending all their time trying to catch someone else's attention. To become someone others would approach, be someone you'd approach. Prioritize your mental, physical, and emotional well-being. Establish a routine that nourishes your body and mind, steering clear of activities or relationships that compromise your sanity. It is a cliché. However, your body is your temple, so treat it accordingly. Engage in activities that bring you joy and contribute to your happiness. Craft a routine that aligns with your goals and values. As you immerse yourself in self-care and personal development, you'll become someone others naturally gravitate toward. Being noticed begins with prioritizing what is genuinely best for you. It involves cultivating a life rich in experiences, embracing the allure of mystery, having more to offer, strategically positioning yourself in the dating arena, curating an approachable image, and prioritizing your well-being. These tips are not about conforming to societal expectations, but about forging a path uniquely yours. Until next time, remember to share what steel wisdom you have added to your tool belt in the comments below. There is a future that you are meant to live. One where you are guided by your own choices and uninterrupted by the echoes of self-limited patterns and bad habits. Today, we are going to review not only these habits that are stifling your progress towards that future, but the necessary habits to replace them with, based on the teachings of our Stoic forefathers. There is a very wise quote by Epictetus from Discourses and Selected Writings that reads, "What aid can we find to combat habit? The opposed habit. So if you like doing something, do it regularly. If you don't like doing something, make a habit of doing something different." As always, remember to subscribe and tell us about your Stoic journey in the comments below. Now, let's get started. Stop wasting your time. For a wise man, any amount of time is enough. As Seneca once proclaimed, it's not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. Think about that and relate it back to your personal circumstance. You are not using your time wisely. You put so much time and resources into planning that you never seem to be able to even start working towards your goal. Some days, you're far too lazy that you are not even getting up to get started in the first place. Remember that to learn is to act. You learn through action, not enacting the situation in your mind. You only can do what is in your control. Remember that. Instead of haphazardly attempting, getting frustrated by your efforts, break down your task into smaller steps. You cannot simply jump across the river, but you can walk across multiple stepping stones. Whatever your situation is, break it down into these steps and find accomplishment in crossing off these tasks one by one. If you find yourself getting stuck on one part of the endeavor, break down that task into smaller steps, one by one, until you're done. So, don't waste time. Go into each task with multiple steps leading towards your goal to keep yourself on track and accountable. Do not be a perfectionist. This is a direct continuation from the previous habit to overcome. To try to be perfect in everything that you do is ironically to hold back. It is not to have quality over quantity, but to not have quantity at all. To be a perfectionist is to refine in real time and not to improve at a task the more you do it. Firstly, recognize that we are all imperfect beings. To be human is to be in a constant state of making errors, and it is through our mistakes that we learn and grow. It is unreasonable to expect perfection from ourselves, as it is a standard no one can truly achieve. Embrace your humanity and the imperfections that come with it, for it is a part of the natural order of life. Epictetus is not superior to Socrates, but if he is not inferior, this is enough for me. That was by Epictetus, from Book 1 of the Discourses. So, don't be a perfectionist. Instead, complete your tasks to the best of the abilities that you have today, but be in a constant state of taking note of how you might do the task better next time. You must stop complaining. Consider this. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, faced adversities with unwavering resilience. They embraced challenges as opportunities for growth. So, instead of weakly complaining about the difficulties that befall you, confront them with the spirit of a stoic philosopher. Remember, complaining is the language of victims, and you, my friend, are meant to be a victor in the grand play of existence. Marcus Aurelius once said that everything that happens is either endurable or not. If it's endurable, then endure it. Stop complaining. If it's unendurable, then stop complaining. Your destruction will mean its end as well. Do not think that you do not have a reason to complain, but overcome the urge, as complaining is to blame. Complaining is to displace responsibility. Put the responsibility on yourself to fix the problems around you, as you are the only being within your control. So, don't complain. Instead, change what is in your power to change, and recognize when you are wrong in a situation and adapt, for that is how you become a stronger man. Do not live in the past. If you are depressed, you are living in the past. If you are anxious, you are living in the future. If you are at peace, you are living in the present. That was a quote by Lao Tzu. One of the core tenets of Stoicism is to be aware of and to focus on what we can control and let go of those we can't. One area that we don't have control over is what happened in the past. It is not something that we can change, yet it is one of the hardest things for us to let go of. Regrets are a prison of our own making, but we are the ones that hold the key to our escape. Learning how to untangle ourselves from the past can bring us peace and freedom to move more lightly in the present. So do not live in the past. Instead, realize the message behind the reason you keep returning to these times of your life. Think of these memories like parables, with different names and settings. And think of the conclusion to the story and what you can learn and add to your tool belt to use in the present. You must stop fearing change. If you realize that all things change, there is nothing that you will try to hold on to. If you aren't afraid of death, there is nothing you can't achieve. That was a quote by Tao Te Ching. Your fear of change is a shackle that binds you, a self-imposed limitation that obstructs the path to true freedom. Change, my friend, is not an adversary but a constant companion in the journey of life. Consider the words of Epictetus, who proclaimed, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." Change is an external circumstance, an ever-present river that flows, shaping the landscapes it encounters. Your power lies not in halting its course, but in choosing how you navigate its currents. The problem is not change itself, but your resistance to it. Like a stoic oak that withstands the storms, learn to sway with the winds of change, rather than standing rigid and brittle. When you find yourself worrying about these changes, take hold of that feeling and conquer it. Walk directly into the storm and show the storm who is king. So do not fear change. Instead, learn how to accept that you will have to deal with hardships, and that is your responsibility. The more stoic you can find yourself in these trials, the easier it becomes day by day, year by year. Do not compare yourself to others. We tend to think that this is a modern-day phenomenon, but this was a prevalent problem for humans throughout history. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Do not waste the remainder of your life in thoughts about others, for you lose the opportunity of doing something else when you have such thoughts as these." It is the human condition to think about what others, specifically our peers, think about us. What Marcus Aurelius is reminding us here is to forget about others and what they think about us. He says, it is far better to use our attention and mental powers to do something more constructive with our lives, and your logical, rational, and ordinary mind knows this. However, we can always take this opportunity to think of this phenomenon as a tool. What does our subconscious believe our peers are doing right, and we aren't doing well enough? Are you envying how they are starting a family? Perhaps it's time to look for a partner. Are they being offered a promotion? Perhaps we must roll up our sleeves and prove to the authority of our workplace what we are capable of. However, in the same vein of thinking, let it be known that oftentimes these comparisons are superficial and negative. Recognize that we must always be on a journey of self-improvement, being better than who we were yesterday, not who someone else is today. There is no rush to meeting life goals, but there is a drive in all of us to only be satisfied when we are struggling to get up the hill, not daydreaming what may be waiting for us at the mountain's peak. So, don't compare yourself to others. Instead, compare yourself to who you were yesterday and challenge him instead. You must stop obsessing over the future. Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present, was said by Marcus Aurelius. Your obsession with the future is a manifestation of fear, a reluctance to face the uncertainty that lies ahead. But courage is found not in anticipation, but in the fortitude to confront the unfolding moment. The future is beyond your control. Your power lies not in fretting about what is yet to come, but in mastering your response to the ever-present now. As discussed prior, we must only concern ourselves with what is within our control. If tomorrow there is something to be dealt with, all we can do is to prepare our mind and environment to make it easier for ourselves to deal with tomorrow. We cannot control how much traffic will be on the streets tomorrow. But what we can control is planning to leave early to account for if the traffic is heavy. We cannot control if it will be easy to get out of bed, but what we can control is going to bed early to make it more simple. We can control having our belongings in a predictable location. We can control being studied and thus prepared mentally. So, don't obsess over the future. Instead, learn to be prepared as our mind, body, and immediate environment are the only elements we can control. To not be a materialist. Marcus Aurelius once said, if you can't stop prizing a lot of other things, then you'll never be free. Free, independent, imperturbable, because you'll always be envious and jealous, afraid that people might come and take it all away from you. A mission of a Stoic is to be self-reliant, for our toolbox is our mind that we must keep at the ready at all times. We know not what our opponent, be it a person or the environment itself, will draw to tackle us with. If we found ourselves one day with no electricity, how would we fare? If we found ourselves having to leave it all behind, how much would we miss it? The problem, dear seeker, is not in the appreciation of material comforts, but to be aware of the attachment to these things that transforms them into the arbiter of your happiness and self-worth. Marcus Aurelius urges you to break free from the chains of materialism, for in its grip, you forfeit the independence and imperturbability that define a truly liberated existence. So, do not be attached to material things. Instead, be vigilant in your abilities, as your personal skills may one day have to supplement the absence to your belongings. Stop having unrealistic expectations. We all have certain expectations that things should go a specific way. For some of us, it's holding fixed expectations that our relationships should be exactly as we've imagined. A perfect partner, kids, family, and friends. For others, it's the expectation that we should have it all figured out by now, that your careers should follow a carefully plotted path, or that some special event, wedding, birthday, vacation abroad, should live up what you expect. It's not that expectations are inherently dangerous, but that you are fixating on something out of your control. Positive visualization, setting expectations sky high and fixating on the best-case scenario, is not so much a strategy as it is a recipe for failure. More times than not, the outcome will fall short of the best-case scenario. So, stop having unrealistic expectations. Instead, do your best when trying to obtain your goal, and whatever outcome you achieve, learn from it for better results moving forward. In the subject of control, all you can do is learn and adapt. Do not procrastinate. Seneca said that putting things off is the biggest waste of life. It snatches away each day as it comes and denies us the present by promising the future. The greatest obstacle to living is expectancy, which hangs upon tomorrow and loses today. The whole future lies in uncertainty. Live immediately. In this world, where so much lies beyond our control, the Stoic solution emerges. Commit to a routine you control. By embracing a disciplined schedule, you assert control over your own actions and escape the clutches of procrastination. As Seneca would argue, organize your time, establish principles, and eliminate the faults that detain your spirit. In doing so, you pave the way for focused effort and a life well lived. So, do not procrastinate. Instead, be in the habit of, as soon as you see something that needs to be done, you do it. A sink full of unwashed dishes or a hamper full of unclean laundry doesn't just make for an untidy house, but an untidy mind. The smallest of chores completed frees your mind for the larger tasks and ambitions. You must stop seeking the validation of others. If you are ever tempted to look for outside approval, realize that you have compromised your integrity. If you need a witness, be your own, Epictetus said. Stoic philosophers believe that seeking external validation or approval is a form of external dependence that could lead to anxiety and a lack of control over your life. Humans have a natural desire to seek approval from others. It's a part of our social nature to want to be accepted and validated by those around us. However, in this endeavor, we are being an arm for another's missions. We are not furthering our own lives, but in sometimes taking us backwards. Living for others' approval leads us away from our true selves and desires, like wearing ill-fitting clothes just to please others. Recall the moments of genuine fulfillment in your life. They likely occurred when you were true to your own values and beliefs, independent of others' expectations. This is the core of authentic living. So, do not pursue the validation of others. Instead, live by your own morals and standards. And if your actions are complementary to the wants of others around you, all the better.